What's up, San Diego? Fox Raceway in Pala, California. It's about an hour away from here, but I gotta catch a late night Saturday flight. I don't know if there's as much to think about though on this flight as we had 1 week ago, leaving Hangtown, which was all over the map, surprising and emotional winners, but almost a little return to normalcy in round 2 of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. I'm Jason Weigandt, and this is all brought to you by Race Tech. If you don't know by now that you're gonna get plusher suspension with better bottoming resistance, that guy almost ran into me, and have suspension parts that are made and engineered right in the USA, well, dude, have you not been watching these videos? Are you totally uninformed? Let me help you. Let me just give you a set of gold valves. Look at the description of this video below and you can see how you can email and enter and get hooked up. Now, beautiful San Diego Harbor right behind me. There's some boats here. I think you can see them. I know it's a little dark. Yeah, there's boats. There's boats. Airport's way over there. And they got some crazy parties going on this side. But let me tell you something. As I get in this plane, there is a story developed today that looks a lot more like things looked like last year. Early in the first moto, Eli Tomac was down. He was battling Jason Anderson. Marvin Musquin had left everyone, and Ken Roczen was even further ahead out front. And Roczen was your fastest qualifier at Fox Raceway, just like he was at Hangtown. Roczen went on to win Hangtown, as you probably know. And when Roczen is a fast qualifier in general, that's not something he always does. It's a real indicator in his case that he's really on. I thought it was over, and I thought Roczen was going to roll just like he did at Hangtown. And then it happened. 2018 Eli Tomac beast mode showed itself in 2019. Musquin put on a strong charge and caught Roczen at the end, and it looked like he might pull off the moto win, but suddenly there was Tomac. He shed the pressure from Anderson. He caught Musquin, and then when Musquin gambled with an outside line to try to pass Roczen, suddenly Tomac got by him, then made short work of Roczen and took off for the win. That was a big victory, as big as it could probably be for only the third moto of the season. Then Musquin got a great start in race 2 and led for a while. Guess what? Tomac came back to beat him again. Look at that airport, about to airplane landing at the airport right now. Well, that was almost the inevitable. That plane's gonna go into the airport and Tomac's gonna get around Musquin. He's just done it so many times the last couple of years. So as strong as this 450 field is, and I believe they've lived up to the hype, Jason Anderson has ridden very well. Zach Osborne's ridden well. It hasn't gotten starts, but he's proven that he's a player even though he's a rookie. Roczen's much better than he was a year ago, and Musquin is still Musquin. Cooper Webb maybe a little under the radar. He only finished 6th today. That's probably not what the Supercross champ wants, but it's early. All these riders have at least shown they have potential, but the story we saw so often in 2018 was these guys are riding great, but somehow Tomac is even greater than that. Is that what we're gonna find as he's won 3 out of 4 motos and 3 straight suddenly in 2019, or are things going to change? Now in the 250 class, it's a little more unknowns there because none of the riders in that division have ever won the championship before, but man, Adam Cirillo is starting to look like the veteran, calm type presence in the class. Now we took a huge gamble picking an outside gate in the first moto. His thoughts were that he could get on some dry dirt on the very side of the track, kind of outside the markers, but you know, well, we don't need to tell anybody about that. It didn't work anyway. It was too far outside and the dirt wasn't that much harder. He couldn't really get a drive and he started way back. He did a good job slicing his way through to 3rd. The moto win went to the ever fast, quick and qualifying, great starter, Justin Cooper, who I cannot believe still doesn't have an overall victory to his name. Because in Moto 2, Cooper just wasn't quite as good, and since Cirillo got a better start and took advantage, he passed Cooper and got away from him. He didn't have to deal with Dylan Ferrandis, he got away there. And at one point he was leading and it looked pretty obvious that he was gonna go 3-1 for the overall. But then all of a sudden we got ourselves a Hunter Lawrence sighting. Remember Hunter Lawrence coming off of the World GP circuit? We know the Australian has talent and is fast. He's had all sorts of bad luck in the first 3 motos. He crashed early in Moto 1 today. If not, he and Jordan Smith came together. If that hadn't happened, he probably was in contention for the overall today. Well, he caught Cirillo, he passed him, and he was about to check out and get his first moto win in the US and only his 4th try as a full-time rider. I know he was awesome at the Nations last year at Redbud, everyone. But then Lawrence went down. That puts Cirillo back up front, and he ends up winning the overall 3-1. But what was impressive is that in the first moto especially, the track was really hard to pass on. Cirillo managed to get back to 3rd after a bad start. And in the second moto, when he got a better start, he did what he needed to do to get up front. He didn't really have an answer for Lawrence, I don't think. But look, man, how many times have we seen Cirillo wash out the front end while headed to a seeming easy moto victory? he'll take the turnabout being fair play this time. So Kawasaki wins both classes. If any brand would like to tell you not to get too excited about championships because of early wins, well, it's the one that was dominating 250 Supercross for most of the year and had it not work out with #1 plates. So obviously they're going to be cautious about this. But I have to say, since Cirillo has proven very versatile in these first 2 rounds, doing it from the front and the back and in different conditions and not making the mistakes that used to plague him and take wins away from him early, and then Eli, man. Eli is being Eli, and not the Eli that just throws out a random not good moto right now. The first moto at Hangtown was not great, but these last 3 are showing that he's going to be just as tough this year as he was last year, which means now it's on everybody else. They're gonna just have to step up the game because Tomac's not gonna hand this championship over any more easily than he did a season ago. That's something to think about. Can anyone step up to the Tomac level challenge, which is clearly here this year? We'll see. We're going his home race in Colorado next. See you then. Thanks to Race Tech, and thanks to you for watching.